حفظكم الله ورعاكم. نرحب بحضور المحامين والقضاة ورؤسائنا في هذه المحكمة الشريفة، حفظكم الله ورعاكم جميعا، بداية من المحامين، وكذلك نرحب.
إنما فتناه فاستغفر ربه وخر راكعا وأناب، فغفرنا له ذلك وإن له عندنا لزلفى وحسن مآب.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. Such is a beautiful recitation from the glorious Quran with a melodious voice from one of our senior regime. May Allah reward you for that beautiful recitation. Amen. The verse is about of justice delivery, the position of a judge.
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
I give all the glory and praise to Almighty Allah. The NBA chairman, Iloni and Ofa, you are highly welcome. I give all glory and praises to Almighty Allah, who has spared our lives to witness another legal year as the KWARA State Shari'a of Appeal. I am particularly pleased to welcome you all to the public presentation of the KWARA State Shari'a of Appeal Law Report in marking the commencement of the 2021-2022 legal year. It is great and gratifying to see so many delighted men and women here gathered to celebrate with us, and your presence today is a demonstration and manifestation of your usual unflinching support for our cause at all times. The event, which culminated into today's ceremony, began when His Lordship, the Honorable Grand Qadi of KWARA State, Honorable Justice Muhammad Ola Abdul Qadir, inaugurated the editorial committee of the KWARA State Shari'a of Appeal Law Report, comprising of all the Qadis of this honorable court, and made me chairman of the committee with other management team to fashion out an improved and repackaged report of the activities of this honorable court. At the inauguration, there were outstanding reports from 2016 to 2021. The committee therefore immediately commenced action, and it was decided that due to paucity of funds, two reports, namely one of the backlogs, that is 2020-2016, and the report for the current year, that is 2020, should be produced, while other years will follow later. Part of the improvement and development on the report is the profile of the outstanding personalities put on the back cover of the report. Hence, these two reports before your distinguished personalities have come with new features for easy referencing and accessibility of legal authorities, and will enhance qualitative justice delivery as well as legal researches. It is our hope that the two reports to be presented to the public today will be of greater benefits to all and sundry. We may have the opportunity to lay their hands on them.
Today, Shari'a Appeal is manned by vibrant
and talented young brothers, that is plural of Kali, who are indisputably qualified to occupy the bench of any superior court of record in any jurisdiction in the country. Observe that your lordships are full of fresh ideas, and you possess all it takes to take the court to a higher level within a short time. This program of today is a new thing in the history of Shari'a Court of Appeal here in KWARA, and to the best of my knowledge, in any part of the country where Shari'a Courts of Appeal operates. As young Qudar, I repeat, as young Qudar, I want to urge your lordship to please balance youth enthusiasm and radical interpretation of the law, which we call activism, with orthodoxy, conservatism, Salafiyya of Islamic law. Your lordships need to bear in mind always that your activities should be governed not only by Shari'a but also by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Islam, as we all know it, is a deen of Salafiyyu, that is a way of life with sound foundation built on Quran and Prophet's way of life, which account for Islamic law's rigidity and universality. Your lordships know, as I do, that Islamic law interpretation is full of ara'u shadha wa ara'u al-mashhura. That is to say, the minority opinions which are radical in nature and the majority opinions which are conservative and of course generally applied. The two do exist and are respected throughout the ages, and so it will continue as long as the juries continue to reflect and refresh their opinions in the matters of fiqh, Islamic jurisprudence. We should not use, I warn, we should not use the negatives of any other law to print the photographs of Islamic principles and practices. Quran chapter 20 verse 114. وَلَا تَعْجَلْ بِالْقُرْآنِ مِنْ قَبْلِ أَنْ يُقْضَى إِلَيْكَ وَحْيُهُ وَقُلْ رَبِّ زِدْنِي عِلْمًا. Generally applies to all, but specifically needed to guide our colleagues in the onerous task of adjudication. Fiqh, Islamic jurisprudence, is, as I see it, Bahrul Ilmi, ocean of knowledge of colleagues. To swim and swim and swim endlessly. It's not for its knowledge. It's not for the sake of knowledge, but for the purpose of its application. I am bold to say, with all confidence, that the knowledge outside the four walls of the universities is by far more than the knowledge within the four walls of the universities put together. My lords, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it will not be out of place to caution Muslims against contracting their marriages under the Marriage Act. The essence, as I understand, of Marriage Act is monogamy, to which Islam has no objection whatsoever. It is a matter of state, a matter of choice, and a matter of dictates of circumstances. On the other hand, the act outside the jurisdiction of Islamic law in the estate of he who marries under it. As such Muslims have rejected the ordinances of Quran chapter 4 verses 112, 13 and 176, chasing what Islam has already provided for them to choose out of polygyny and monogamy. The relevant portion of the act
reads as I quote below. It says, where any person who is subject to the native law and custom contracts a marriage in accordance with the provision of the ordinance, of this ordinance, and such persons die intestate, a personal property of such intestate and also real property of which the said intestate might have disposed by will shall be distributed in accordance with the provisions of law of England relating to the distribution of the personal estate and intestate. Emphasis now. I wish to use this occasion to make a very, very passionate appeal to the Muslim Lawyers Association of Nigeria in particular and other stakeholders in the development of Islamic law in general to please set in motion efforts to amend the Wills Act of 1837 to protect the culture and the beliefs of the good people of KWARA State and to ensure that they are given due respect in the law that governs the society. For instance, Old Western region of Nigeria has taken a very wide step to amend the act as far back as July 1958. Similarly, Old Kaduna, that is Kaduna State, has taken similar action as contained in Section 4 of the Kaduna State Wills Act. I venture to say these will save the good people of KWARA State from the menace of Timothy Kaniloju Adeposukun versus Razaki Yenusa, 1971, Northern Nigerian Law Report 1977. Finally, I want to commend my lords, the judges of High Court of Justice, and the Qadis of Shari'a Court of Appeal for ensuring that cordiality and mutual respect between the two sister superior courts of record inherited is well maintained. I wish to appeal to your lordship that sustenance is not enough, but your lordship should always endeavor to improve on it. For instance, why can't we jointly arrange the sent forth for the judicial officers at the end of their tenure? Your lordships are fully aware that both courts are partners in the service of good people of KWARA. The mandate to serve them should always be your lordship's focus. May Allah help us all to achieve the purpose for which the institutions were established and give us cause to look back at the end of the journey and thank Allah for his guidance. Thank you all. God bless. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
KWARA State, Madam Abdurrahman Abdurazak. The Right Honorable Speaker, KWARA State House of Assembly, Engineer. Before I start my speech, I want to read Surah Al-Ikhlas. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Qul huwa Allahu ahad, Allahu samad, lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. For my two parents, my father and my mother, may Allah bless them. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful, praises and adoration are due to Allah, who has given us opportunity to witness another legal year in the Shari'a Court of Appeal of KWARA State. Although it has been quite some years that ceremony of this nature was last held, the 2021-22 legal year of the Shari'a Court of Appeal, KWARA State, commenced on the 20th September year 2021, when the court resumed from her 6 weeks annual vacation. Today's ceremony is therefore a slight departure from the usual opening of legal year ceremony, in that our hitherto annual report has been upscaled to a long report, and the occasion of its presentation to the public is used to celebrate commencement of the new legal year. It is the practice in occasions such as this to review the activities of the court in the year gone by, in order to promote renewed dedication as well as better and improved justice delivery. We are all aware that the performances of court all over were circumvented since the last 2 years by the effects of COVID-19 pandemic and the national industrial action embarked upon by the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria, USU, that notwithstanding with respect to our adjudicatory jurisdiction, our registry shows that 58 cases were brought forward from the preceding year, 2019 and 2020, while 45 motions and appeals were filed within the year under review. A total number of 60 cases were disposed of, leaving 43 cases pending at varied stages. I wish to note that the continued increase in the number of appeals filed in the year in focus is quite satisfying. But more than that are the challenges some of the appeals posed, which thankfully to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we rose to the challenges to the best of our ability. In the area of non-adjudicatory jurisdiction of the court, about 300 requests for letters of administration and for assistance in distributing estates of deceased Muslims were received and are being treated in the year covered by this report. This non-adjudicatory jurisdiction of the court is being exercised pursuant to the body corporate of Islamic law, especially that of the Maliki school of thought, that saddles the administration of the estate of Muslims after deaths on individual expert scholars, institutions, or competent judges. The said body of Islamic law is statutorily and constitutionally made applicable in the Shari'a Court of Appeal. Also, as a court whose body of law equally encourages the promotion of peace, harmony, tranquility, and propagation of Sharia, a number of sulh, arbitral, and reconciliatory activities were initiated, facilitated, and participated in by the court. These are parts from other religious and community service rendered within the ambit of our traditional rules as custodian of Islamic perspective, precepts, and practice, as against the narrow perspective of only the express constitutional adjudicatory jurisdiction. There is equally an upsurge in the demand for our marriage certificates, with consequential increase in government revenue in view of the increase in this recognition for Muslim couples by foreign embassies, governmental institutions, and for other purposes. The Shari'a Court of Appeal, KWARA State, is, however, recently taken aback and surprised that a government establishment in the state was allegedly trying to force married Muslim female civil service or servants to drop their father's name. This, to say the least, is not only unethical to the dictates of their faith, it infringes on their fundamental rights and is also not in the least backed by any known public service. The government is urged to call the concerned establishment to order. In the new legal year and years ahead, I wish to pledge our new commitments and vigor at ensuring quality justice delivery to all and sundry, without fear of favor, affection or ill will, in line with the dictates of Allah and all other derivative laws enabling us in that behalf. I must commend my brother Honorable Qadis, the management and the entire staff of this court for their dedication and commitment to work, which is accounting for the quick and smooth sail of the machinery of justice in this court. I urge us to strive harder in the new legal year for more positive results. Permit me to state that from 2018 till now, 4 new honorable Qadis were appointed, which brought the number of honorable Qadis of the Shari'a Court of Appeal to 7 in number. The appointed Qadis are Honorable Justice Masoud Adebayo Oniyi, Honorable Justice Abdulrazak Dagbo, Honorable Justice Sharafaddin Olawale Hanafi, and Honorable Justice Abdurrahim Ahmad Sai. Within the preceding legal year, also some of our staff were given admission at various universities to read LLB, and they went there and passed out. They went to law school and they passed. So we thank Almighty Allah for all these achievements. They are Barrister Tajuddin F. Kuranga, Barrister Abdulmumin Usman, Barrister Mashhud Yusuf Balasa, Barrister Saka F. Abdulkader, Barrister Ismail D. Jima, Barrister Abdul Malik Imam Fulani. So the number of judges in our courts was again or recently depleted with the retirement of Honorable Justice Abdurrahim Ibrahim in May 2021, bringing the number down to 6. To God Almighty Allah be the glory, as I make bold to say that the old and new Qadis are putting in their optimal best. At this juncture, let me sincerely thank the KWARA State Government under the able leadership of His Excellency Malam Abdurrahman Abdurazak for the cordiality and synergy that exists among the arms of government in the state, especially for hearkening to the needs of the judiciary as a whole, and this court in particular. His Excellency has graciously granted several approvals, which include: 1. Timely release of monthly subvention for recurrence. 2. Purchase of giant Meccano power generating sets. 3. Purchase of pool cars, healers, pickup and bus. 4. Sponsorship for participation in local, national and international conferences. 5. Payment of wardrobe allowances to qualified registrars of the court. 6. approving finances for medical treatment for judges and other staff faced with critical challenges. 7. Purchase of motorcycles and power generating sets for police and at our station. However, we still have some outstanding and we keep asking Your Excellency for more. It is in this regard that we crave your indulgence to kindly look at the following needs of the courts. 1. Fulfillment of the promise to build Cadiz quarters, like the judges' quarters. 2. Provision of vehicle to the recently appointed Cadiz of this court and judges of the High Court. 3. Provision of vehicle for all Cadiz and judges of Superior Courts in the state. 4. Rehabilitation of Shari'a Court of Appeal courtrooms across the state, particularly in Umana, Ofa, Share, Lafiaji, Kayama, Patigi judicial divisions. 5. Allocation of land for accommodation needs of other support staff. 6. Payment of furniture allowances to the serving registrars. 7. Payment of gratuities of retired caddies. Approval of the recurrence or recruitment of staff in areas of needs. 9. Generally expediting action on the implementation of autonomy of the judiciary. I want to particularly appreciate my Lord, the Honorable Chief Judge of KWARA State, Honorable Justice S.D. Kawu, and other members of the state judiciary.
And us are standing in dual capacity, both as Attorney General of the KWARA State and Commissioner for Justice, and the representative of His Excellency, the Governor of KWARA State. And as the program indicated, I am going to deliver the address of the AG, and thereafter respond to the address of Melody the Grand Cadre in the representative capacity of His Excellency, the Governor of KWARA State. In the name of Allah, the most gracious and the most merciful, the Master of the Day of Judgment, you alone will worship, and you alone will act for help. Guide us onto the right path, the path of those who are favored, not the path of those who hang your hand or are gone astray. May the peace, blessings, and glorification of Allah be upon our Prophet, the Lord and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and his entire household. I am highly delighted to be invited to join the assemblage of eminent personalities, both of the bar and the bench, in marking the commencement of another legal year of KWARA State Shari'a Court of Appeal and the public presentation of the rebranded KWARA State Shari'a Court of Appeal law report. Permit me to study their strength by expressing my utmost gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for enabling us to assemble for this auspicious occasion, which is being galvanized or garnished with the presentation of the Shari'a Court of Appeal law report, an exercise which many have considered lost from this country. May Allah reward the management and team of staff whom Allah used to make today a reality by granting them success in all areas of their endeavors. The existence of this court, the Shari'a Court of Appeal, is a pride to us as Muslims and Muslim lawyers. It therefore remains a thing of joy to see it play its place in high place within the committee of courts of record. While I thank the Grand Cadre for his unwavering fidelity and abiding faith in keeping aglow the illuminating light of his predecessor, which put rousing things on his record as the Shari'a Court of Appeal, I must reiterate the fact that The choice to be a Qadi is a conscious one. It is not taken just as a means of livelihood or as a last resort. The position ought to be seen as a reference calling by Allah, who is without doubt in full glare of our actions. To this end, it is observed with keen concern that in the recent times, our common value have been brought to test by issues of cloning and or what I call cluster justice. The challenge to us as a body is to reinvent and re-establish these common values that make the role of this court critical in the current predicament of our socio-political experience. My message to this court is that your ethical value in terms of court integrity, selflessness, commitment, objectivity of intent and sacrifice and distinctive mark of honor as Qadis are not optional values but essential attributes deserving of the only institution which every Muslim looks up to as our national heritage. Where we are today is by the labor of our professional ancestors from whom we have received the baton of responsibility. Let it not be said of us that we are miserable clones and pitiable caricature, incapable of rising to the occasion of raising the status of this court above just a court. The extent of duration of court as conferred by the Constitution need to be well managed with a view to crave for more. I pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to continue to bless the personnel of this court and endow your lordship with sound health, undiminished wisdom, and long life to continue to keep the fly flying. My Lord's eminent juries, distinguished guests, permit me once again to highlight the commitment of this administration led by His Excellency Malam Abdurrahman Al-Rasaq to boldly support judiciary and judicial officers. I assure you of the special interest His Excellency in seeing that the bill on judicial autonomy is passed into law. The renovation of court and recent approval of His Excellency for the appointment of judiciary staff, including area court judges among others, attest to the fact that His Excellency is keeping on his electoral promises. The day is still very bright, and I wish this court, Muslim Lawyers Association of Nigeria, and the entire members of the bar a fulfilling and very rewarding legal year. I thank you for your rapt attention. Now speaking as representative of His Excellency, the Governor of KWARA State, I want to assure your lordships and the entire judiciary that this message will be conveyed to His Excellency. But I will pick just one issue. The issue of payment of gratuities of retired judicial officers. This is a very serious issue that has attracted the attention of this administration. And even before the JUSUN strike, it was in the contemplation of this administration that there is need to secure the payment of retired judicial officers from the general pension scheme. It is very disheartening to see a retired judicial officer walking around the civil service and then the ministries are begging to process as retirement benefits. So the issue of autonomy now gave us a very good platform. And I can assure you, the CJ is here. It is a special provision in that autonomy law that there will be a pension committee for the judiciary that will handle the pension of judicial officer, and it covers those who have only retired before now. It is retroactive in respect in terms of operation, and one of the first line charges that will be on the revenue accruing to the judiciary will be the payment of pensions. So my Lord, I can assure you that that is being taken care of, and I can assure you that early next year, that's just 24 hours. From 24 hours now, by the grace of God, the bill will be considered and passed by the House. Thank you very much. I want to thank you, sir. Other requests will also be looked into, but I can assure you that as soon as you have this autonomy bill passed into law, the judiciary will now manage its own finances.
and equally the editorial board for bringing this to place. It is noted that the cordiality between the Shari'a Court of Appeal and the State High Court is very cordial. That the cordiality relationship between the Shari'a Court and the State High Court be sustained. Funding and maintenance of the court should be increased by the government in the new legal years. We know that the government has been doing a lot according to what the Grand Cadi read out, and so also the Attorney General. But we still commend as Oliver Twist that for the new legal year, the state government should see to the funding of the judiciary. Though there is going to be an autonomy of the judiciary, and we pray for that. On behalf of the SN, and in the name of Father, we wish the court a successful new legal year. May God grant you what you deserve. May Allah be with you. Just best wishes to us on behalf of the Senior Advocate of Nigeria. Thank you very much.
I am highly delighted and as well honored to address this august gathering of the bench and the bar, as well as other invited dignitaries from different walks of life at this occasion of the public presentation of the rebranded KWARA State Shari'a Court of Appeal Law Reports in marking the 2021-2022 legal year. I pray that Allah, in His infinite mercy, should protect us throughout the year as we labor together to further the cause of justice. I must commend my Lord, Honorable Justice Muhammad Ola Abdul Kadri, the Grand Cadi of KWARA State Shari'a Court of Appeal, on the public presentation of the rebranded KWARA State Shari'a Court of Appeal Law Reports 2016 and 2020 respectively. It is a known fact that the KWARA State Shari'a Court of Appeal has gone a long way in the development of Sharia in Nigeria through its publication right from 1994 up to year 2015, when the law report was last published. In fact, our colleagues from other jurisdictions in Nigeria kept on asking for the yearly publication since it was last published, because they find the law report very useful. To also state the importance of this court, it is noteworthy to state here that my Lord Honorable Justice Moshood Oredola is a GSC was elevated from this court to the Court of Appeal bench. The Nigerian Bar Association Law Branch will be glad if this court is constant in the publication of the law report as required and has been done in the past. Let me use this opportunity to implore the KWARA State Judicial Service Commission and other authorities concerned in the appointment of Qadis to the State Shari'a Court of Appeal to look inward and beam their searchlights on our area courts and upper area court judges, especially those that sit on Islamic matters, through their elevation into the Shari'a Court of Appeal as required, as against neglecting them. We noticed that the frustration being experienced by these lower court judges is seriously showing in their performances, and which in turn affecting the output of cases which ought to be referred to the KWARA State Shari'a Court of Appeal. My Lord, the last time an area court judge was elevated to the Shari'a Court bench in KWARA State was in year 2012, with the appointment of my Lord Qadi Ablatif Kamaldeen having been first moved to the office of Deputy Chief Registrar Litigation in year 2009. Incidentally, my Lord Grand Qadi was equally elevated from the upper area court bench in year 2010. But till date, the lower courts were made not to be relevant in consideration for the appointment of Qadis in KWARA State. It is also disheartening to say here that the last time a private legal practitioner from a lowering branch of the Nigerian Bar Association was appointed as a Qadi in KWARA State was in year 2008 with the appointment of Qadi Sheikh Muhammad Abdul-Baki of blessed memory. May Allah be pleased with his soul. And our members in private legal practice are equally not happy with their exclusion since then till date, and we hold the authorities concerned to look into it. Other areas that needs to be critically looked into is the total overhauling of the welfare of judges of lower court bench through the provision of a very robust car loan scheme for them, so as to enhance the dispensation of justice as required, and to put a stop to our judges and magistrates having to ride on Okada or tricycle to their various courts. We therefore urge the KWARA State government to consider the hazardous nature of their jobs as they entertain large number of criminal matters, hence the need for them to be protected at least. My lords, the learned seniors and colleagues, distinguished guests, permit me to highlight the fact that His Excellency, the Executive Governor of KWARA State, has indeed shown support to the KWARA State Shari'a Court of Appeal since his coming into office through the provision of a new industrial electricity generating set, a brand new Toyota Hilux van, and an 18-seater Toyota Hiace bus, as well as motorbikes for the bailiff section of this court. Your Excellency, the bar remains as the mouthpiece of our judges and caddies, and the reason why we are calling on you, sir, to make residential quarters available to the 6 caddies that were appointed of recent into the KWARA State Shari'a Court of Appeal, and to as well make provisions for their official vehicles, including that of the chief registrars of our courts. The condition of the court rooms of the Sharia court is worrisome, and we urge that the renovations being carried out in other courts be extended to this court, as well as others in outside stations for the betterment of the bench and the bar, as well as society. Before I end this address, I need to reiterate the fact that the issue of security remains a critical matter that needs continually be addressed. While I want to thank the KWARA State government and the KWARA State Command of the Nigerian Police on their effort in combating crime in our state, I urge the government not to rest on its oars and to further partner with the officers of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLA, in eradicating the reigning phenomenon of drug abuse and trafficking by our youths. Honestly, the negative impact of drug abuse is now being felt by all and sundry, and as a result of the increase in cases of rape, banditry, courtship, and kidnapping, the perpetrators of this heinous crime indulge in their acts under the influence of drug. Therefore, the war against hard drug should be a collective responsibility of all of us. Everyone within the society must join hands to see that the war is fought and won, so that we can have a society that is mentally balanced and less of crime. I thank you all for your attention. May Allah's mercy continue to abide by us. Thank you.
We sincerely commend our honorable caddies for this achievement. On the request of my Lord, the Honorable Grand Caddy, I will be specific with the request for rehabilitation and renovation of Grand Sharia Court of Appeal complexes across the state. We make bold to state that there is no structure to be renovated in Offa. There is no complex to be rehabilitated in Offa. And thus, the need for a befitting complex for dispensation of justice cannot be overemphasized. Thus, we are hereby appealing to the leadership of the judiciary to build a befitting Sharia Court of Appeal complex in Offa, coupled with judges' quarters, so that we can have resident judges in Offa. Mostly, up till now, we have judges coming probably on daily basis from their various abodes to Offa to preside over matters, and this is not commendable. Anything can happen in transit. A judge must have a sane mind, must be comfortable to have that requisite capacity for the dispensation of justice. And thus we urge the leadership of the judiciary, my Lord the CJ, to consider our appeal. We also urge, my Lord, to consider appointing more judges to the area court. The wideness of the jurisdiction being covered by the area court cannot be overemphasized. They do a lot with less manpower. More instances, we have cases before them, and probably a judge is covering about 3, 4, 5 jurisdictions. Has to sit in Offa today, in Goma tomorrow, in Patigi or Lafayette, and so on and so forth. This is not a happy situation. We specifically plead to the leadership of the judiciary to deploy more judges to the Offa branch so that we can have timely adjudication over matters. On this note, and on a final note, I want to appreciate everyone present.
What we used to have was Shari'a Court of Appeal annual reports. But now KWARA State Shari'a Court of Appeal law reports. This is indeed a great feat. To us practicing lawyers, law report forms part of our tools, which is the authority for any principle of law to convince the court on any legal argument, especially Sharia. Because the importance of this occasion could better be appreciated in the context of an event report on the authority of Amir ibn Wathila. Nabi ibn Arif met Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu in Usfan, and Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu had placed him on authority in Mecca. So he asked him, "Whom have you placed in charge of the people of the valley?" He replied Ibn Habsa. Umar radiallahu ta'ala asked him, "And who is Ibn Habsa?" "He is one of our freed slaves." Umar radiallahu ta'ala said, "So you have placed a free slave in charge of them?" He replied, "He is a reciter of the book of Allah, the Almighty, the All-Powerful, and is knowledgeable concerning Al-Faraid, i.e., the ordinances and religious duty imposed by Allah." Umar radiallahu ta'ala said, "Did your Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam not say, Inna Allah yarfa'u bihadha al-kitab aqwaman wa yad'u bi akhirin? Verily, Allah raises people by this book and casts down others by it." Once again, I say congratulations. My Lord, the Grand Qadi, I wish to publicly acknowledge the support of the Shari'a Court of Appeal to our association, that is Muslim Lawyer Association of Nigeria, Mulan, all the time. I'm happy to inform this gathering the secretariat of Mulan is situated, lying, and being within the premises of this court. To this I say, Jazakallahu khairan jazaa. Settlement of dispute. My Lord, it is needless to say that the jurisdiction of the Shari'a Court of Appeal is solely civil, as contained in section 277 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended. As such, there are plethora of decided cases where Shari'a Court of Appeal upheld the desire of party to settle amicably. However, it is needed to be pointed out here that where illegality will be promoted, such compromise should not be encouraged. A complainant where a Muslim girl was impregnated by a non-Muslim and gave birth to a child was lodged before an area court by the girl's father. The claim of the father against the non-Muslim man while joining his mother as a co-defendant for the following reliefs. A. An order of the Honorable Court declaring the union as invalid, null and void for lack of parental consent. B. An order affiliating the product of illicit union to the plaintiff. C. An order of the court for the payment of 500,000 as maintenance of the pregnancy until she delivers. D. An order of the court for damages by way of trauma suffered by the father whose plan for her daughter was frustrated by an unlawful act of the first defendant. However, this matter was intended to teach some lesson to those who thought erroneously, though, naturally believe that once a girl has been impregnated by someone, she automatically becomes a wife of was however frustrated by the insistence of the trial area court judge, who felt that the matter should and must be settled out of court. It is against this background above scenario I urge the Shari'a Court of Appeal in conjunction with the High Court KWARA State to continuously train and retrain judges of area court and upper area court in adjudication of Sharia matters. This is not to say that all judges of area court indulge in this anomaly, as you have many of them who are vast and netted with Sharia. Appointment of Sharia Court of Appeal bench. My Lord, the Grand Kadi, my Lord, the High Court, the Chief Judge of KWARA State, I cannot agree more with the submission of my learned friend, the chairman of Ilorin branch of Nigerian Bar Association, when he said that the last time a member of the Ilorin branch was appointed a judge was 2008 with the appointment of my Lord Al-Marhum Justice Abdubaki. But I want to further add that a situation where judges or cadis of the Sharia Court bench in KWARA State is dominated by a section of the country is not in agreement with the federal character principle. And so, I urge the state government, at least the KWARA State government, to ensure that other sections of senatorial district of KWARA State are carried along in the appointment of Kadi of Sharia Court of Appeal. Conclusion. I pray to the Almighty Allah to continue to guide your Lordship as you dispense justice.
In KWARA State, my Lord, Honorable Justice Abdulmutallib Ambali retired. In a bid to ensure that everyone is carried along with the day-to-day happenings of the Sharia Court of Appeal, began the compilation of Sharia Court of Appeal, Ilorin KWARA State annual report in the book form. This continued up until 2015. When my Lord Honorable Justice Muhammad Abdul Qadri Ola took over as the Grand Cadre Sharia Court of Appeal, a rebranded annual report metamorphosized into the KWARA Sharia Court of Appeal Law Report. This present report, which is being reviewed today, did not throw the new baby away along with the bathwater. It rather strengthened it by ensuring that the hitherto annual report is retained while ensuring that certain contentious cases alongside report of estate distribution are included therein. A long list of cases handled throughout the year in review also form part of this initiative. Thus, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the KWARA Sharia Court of Appeal Law Report that is being reviewed today is the first of its kind by any Sharia Court of Appeal in Nigeria. The present review will cover 2016 and 2020. Efforts are currently ongoing at ensuring the production of the backlog. The 2016 KWARA Sharia Court of Appeal report is divided into 3 parts. Part A, B, and C. Part A comprises of 9 rulings and judgments that are contentious and recondite. These rulings and judgments borders on maintenance, dowry, parental consent, paternity, fair hearing, jurisdiction of the court, stay of proceedings, and practice and procedure of the court. This can be found at pages 1 to 142 of the 2016 law report. Part B, on the other hand, include the report of the distribution of estate for 6 families. Report of estate distribution can be found on pages 143 to 174 of the 2016 law report. Since the 9 cases earlier mentioned as having been reported, 2016 does not represent the total number of cases dealt with by the court in the year under review. Part C therefore represents the total number of cases handled by the court in 2016. This can also be found at pages 177 to 187. Titled Case Management. Part C is an encapsulation of all the cases handled by the court in 2016. The analysis of these cases are as follows. Total number of cases dealt with, 77. Number of cases filed, 53. Total number of cases wherein judgments were delivered, 49. 29 cases were pending in the said year. With regards to 2020, the law report, like that of 2016, is subdivided into 3 parts. Part A contains 10 rulings and judgments. This can be found at pages 1 to 277 of the report. These rulings and judgments borders on custody, upkeep of the children of marriage, access for one's biological children, amongst others. Others include jurisdiction on application of committal to prison, default judgment by the upper area court sitting in the Sharia proceeding, igniting of the adjudicatory jurisdiction of a court vis-a-vis termination of same at any stage of the proceedings, right to fair hearing, application of retrial de novo, and merit thereof. It also contains issues relating to the adjournment of substantive matter sine die, while the same applicant did not merit a stay. Part B, on the other hand, has 7 reports of estate distribution. It is listed at pages 278 to 324 of the 2020 law report. Part C, the 2020 law report, is an outline of cases management. That is, all the cases handled by the KWARA Shari'a Court of Appeal Law Review in 2020. They can be found at pages 325 to 335. Part C in question contains 75 cases, being the total number of cases handled by the court in 2020. Total number of cases brought forward to 2020 is 42. Number of cases filed in the same year, 33. Of this number, 42 were successfully delivered and 33 remains pending. In conclusion, Melos, Grand Cadi and Cadis here present, retired Grand Cadis, distinguished and gentlemen, being the first of its kind by any Sharia Court of Appeal in Nigeria, coupled with its language, simplicity and clarity, it is my pleasure to commend the 2016 and 2020 KWARA Sharia Court of Appeal Law report to the High Court of Justice of KWARA State, Islamic law experts all over the country, legal practitioners, students of Islamic law, as well as the public as a worthy companion. No library should miss this scintillating report. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala.
Commitments and good performance. Congratulations. Thank you very much. The second on the list, Mashoud Lawal, Senior Registrar. So we are giving you this token amount for your hard working, performance and dedication to the Sharia Court of Appeal. Congratulations. Congratulations. It's working with dedication. Thank you very much.
And we support other colleagues and managing another staff of Sharia Court of Appeal. And this is an honor and privilege. Convey 2016 and 2020 law report to the Sharia Court of Appeal for the benefit of all stakeholders in the administration of justice, particularly in accordance with the Sharia law.
MC. Please.
That being informed by the the cover price is very cheap. We are afforded by all and so. What is the unveiling of the brand has now been presented to the public. Get a copy of the law report at 2,000 Each copy is sold at a token amount of 2,000 naira. Move to appreciate each and every one delivered by the Chief Registrar, Shari'a Court of Appeal.
And Kadis retired. My lords, serving Kadis and Justice of High Court of Justice, present, the chairman of this occasion, Honorable Justice Mutalub Ambali, Honorable Commissioner for Justice and Attorney General of the State, Barrister Ayinla Jawondo, the book reviewer, Professor Bashir Omipidon, the chairman MBA Ilorin Mola, the chairman MBA Ilorin Ofa and Mola. I'm very sorry, the Senior Advocate of Nigeria, the Judicial Service Commission members, the Judicial Chairman Committee on Judiciary, Honorable AGF Salahuddin, our father, the Imam Imale of Ilorin. I profoundly want to appreciate Allah for making this event a reality and a huge success. You will all agree with me that it is only Allah that predestined this event to hold. The fact that we had our leather year celebration for the first time in 6 years is enough reason to appreciate Allah. Meanwhile, on behalf of the Honorable Grand Kadi of KWARA State Shari'a Court of Appeal, my Lord Honorable Justice Muhammad Ola Abdulkadir, permit me to sincerely appreciate all those who work tirelessly to ensure we had a befitting event today. Firstly, we would like to extend our undiluted appreciation to His Excellency, the Executive Governor of KWARA State, Malam Abraman Abrazak, for his support to the KWARA State Judiciary and particularly the Shari'a Court of Appeal. Thank you, sir. Also, my Lord, the Honorable Chief Justice of KWARA State, Honorable Justice Sulaiman Duro Kawu. Thank you for your consistent support to the KWARA State of Appeal. Thank you. To the Chairman of 2021-2022 Law Report Committee, my Lord, Honorable Justice Ablatif Kamaldeen and his team, we say Jazakumullah for your commitment and tireless efforts towards the success of this program. Thank you, sir. Also to my lords, the retired Grand Kadis and Kadis, we are more than grateful for your dependable show of support and advice always. We thank you. To the various speakers, we sincerely appreciate your words, observations, and suggestions. It is our prayer that your memory and wisdom will never go blank. Thank you. To our other guests, too numerous to mention, we deeply appreciate your decision to honor our invitation. Thank you also. It is my prayer that we will all return to our various destinations safely. Thank you all and God bless. Thank you.
ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب